I'm back for part 2 of the Power Carved Bowl series. In this video I'll be drawing the design onto the blank that I prepared previously, and I'll start rough shaping the design out. Before I can draw the actual design onto this piece of wood, I'll need to give me some guidance lines. Generally you will do a line halfway through, all the way around the piece. On the long side, I'll probably also split it into 3. So let's do that now. This side is going to be the base. Because this blank isn't symmetrical, I need to establish where this base can fit, assuming this is the center line. I've laid out some rough guidelines on the blank and a conceptual design. I think my next step will be to square these ends off, and it will allow me to draw in the side profile. Once I'm happy with the rough shape, I'll draw it again in darker ink, which will make it easier to see when I actually start carving the design out. So let's do that. With the sides of the blank squared off, I can now put in the side profiles and get a 360 feel of how the bowl will look in the block of wood. So let's try that now. So I've drawn the design on the blank. Basically this is the outside of the bowl. This is where the hollow starts, and I'm thinking fairly steep sides, and this is the bottom of the hollow. These are the side profiles. I'll play with the designs here, and this is the base. Before I start taking the power tools to it, I'll use a drill to basically give me guidance holes so that I can get the base of the hollow at the right depth. I'll just go ahead, drill multiple holes to the set depth, and then I'll start carving. Before I get stuck into the actual shaping of the bowl, there's another thing I should mention or consider. Do I hollow it out first, or do I shape the outside? The problem with shaping the outside is that you end up with curved surfaces which are hard to hold on to. So it's best to keep it square, in my opinion, and hollow the inside first, then flip it over and shape the outside. The tools I'm going to use are going to be these Arbortech carving tools. I'm thinking that to hollow the bowl, I'll probably use this one. It'll allow me to get deep and hopefully get that quite flat. For the more gentle curves and the outside, I'll probably make use of this or this. the turbo plane or the turbo scraper. I'm not an expert at either of these, so it's really going to be trial and error, and I'll find out what works best. So let's grab all this stuff, set up outside where I can make some dust. Let's get started. Take stock of where we got to with the power tools. I've taken the majority of the hollow out and I've pretty much gotten to depth. I've rounded some of these corners. There is still a substantial amount of material I need to remove, and I don't think I'm experienced enough with the Arbotech tools to make these kind of cuts. I'm more familiar with my hand carving knives, so that's what I'll do from here. I'll basically treat this as if I'm carving a spoon, and I've already got tools for that kind of stuff. So let's see how we go. I still regard these as pretty rough cuts, just getting it to depth. This one has a smaller radius, just to get into the corners. So I've decided to try to take this off with the draw knife. As you can see, this is working quite well. There is a risk when you use an aggressive tool like this that you will take too much material off or it'll tear out. So towards the end, you've got to be conservative with your cuts. It's also a good idea to check for symmetry. Don't necessarily trust your guidelines. I think I can take a bit more here. I'd like to take this block out, and I think I'll do it with a saw. Just using a chisel to chop it out now. As I progressed through the carving process, I realized that the original markings I made wasn't going to work out, so I've adjusted them and I've implemented it as a rough carving here. As far as the video goes, I think I will close it off here in my own time. I will carve this side to match this. Once that's done, I'll come back and we'll do some finessing and the finishing. So again, thanks for watching.